Welcome to another episode of Talking Shop. I'm Rachel Evans from the Workshop Whisperer and here with Dean Evans. And today we are going to be talking about how easy it is to be distracted while you're working on your business and give you a couple of pointers on how to give yourself the luxury of an environment every now and again where you can work on your business distraction-free. Dean.
I was on a conversation on one of our coaching calls with a member in our $1 Million Boardroom program, which is owners doing multiple seven figures or seven figures and above in their workshops. And one of the key aspects of a business that size is the owner's ability to spend time working on the business. And what we hear time and time again from our members with that size of business is how hard it is to work on the business when they're at their business premises. And the number one reason for that is because in many cases, there's two things that are yet to be installed in the team members. One is decision rights. What we mean by that is the authority for key people on the team to make decisions on the owner's behalf. Now, when decision rights hasn't been installed, that means almost every time team members come to you, the owner, for all the answers to the questions they've got, to the customer questions, customer queries. So you're constantly getting interrupted if you're trying to work on the business while you're at the business. The second thing that's usually not installed at businesses this size are documented systems. So standard operating procedures, essentially the how-to guides. In many cases, they're still living inside the owner's head. So while there's a desire to work on the business, and they understand the importance of working on the business, the fact that they're doing that at the business means they're constantly interrupted, and they actually become, in many cases, the bottleneck to the auto repair shop running smoothly day to day.
And in this case, our client would give himself the time to work away from the business, but he put himself in an environment where he was equally distracted.
Yeah, so one of the fastest ways to remove those distractions is to remove yourself from the business premises, like geographically locate yourself somewhere else. In many cases, this will be from home, but with young family, there can be kids coming in and out, chores to do. You're looking around all the things that need to be done. So it becomes more of a question of your mental discipline or the ability to focus. And what we've recommended and what we've heard from boardroom guys that works for them is actually going somewhere that is not at business, obviously not at the workplace and not at home. So picking a cafe, picking a park, picking somewhere where they change their physical location, they change their environment, which tells their brain that this is the time to work on the business. It's the gift they give themselves to work on the future vision of how they want the business to run, how they want their life to look, how they want their future to unfold. And the interesting thing about this is that when you remove as many distractions as you possibly can from your environment, because of the level of focus you now bring to what you're working on, you're able to achieve so much more in a shorter amount of time. There was a study done a number of years ago. I think it was done the US Navy. They found that for every interruption that you experience, it takes you 3 times as long to complete the same task that you were in, because your brain has to go back, remember at what stage of the project was it at, get back into the flow, and pick up your focus again. And when you consider that on average we are interrupted, I think it's something like 8 times an hour, which is 56 times in a normal working day, or 80 times if you're doing 10 hours a day. And it ends up being something like 14,000 times a year. the time that you say you don't have to work on your business is actually being absorbed by all the distractions and interruptions you're experiencing while you're at your business. And when you're above 7 figures, your number one goal is, or should at least start to become, installing a tier of middle management, service advisors, workshop managers, even administrative officers that run the day-to-day operations on your behalf, decision rights, authority frameworks, so that you can spend your time working on the business. And the best way to do that is by picking a location that is out of your business. It's the thing that we've seen work time and time and time again.
And it's also why many of our clients, after they have been to a couple of our 2-day client intensives, will actually book themselves into a hotel for the 2 days of the intensive with their team fully operating the business while the intensive is on, and having that physical distraction-free space for the owners means that they're able to totally focus on their business, immerse in what they're learning, immerse in the community, immerse in the discussion, and get that work done. So there you have it. How will you make your working on the business time distraction free? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you for the next Talking Shop.